The following video contains some offensive language for the purpose of parody. Qatarian Lightning does not condone the use of slurs in normal interactions. What a day, what a day, what a day. Moved so many crates that I lost count, then.
What's wrong, Wojak?
Telegram's over there, Natasha.
The business is closing? But you'll be out of a job.
Boss Boomer said that his son got killed in action. Apparently things aren't going so well on the West Front.
Odd, the reporters on TV say we've killed the entire Ukrainian army. Now it's just the occupying force of NATO mercenaries that we're dealing with.
They say one thing on there, but people in the village say another. I don't know who to believe.
Sad as that all is, why is he closing the business over it?
Apparently he got mobilized.
He got mobilized?
Yeah.
But didn't he fight in Afghanistan?
Yeah.
How are we going to pay the bills? Your parents left a big mortgage on this house.
I don't know.
Oh, Wojak. Are you going to get that?
I really don't want to see anyone right now.
Open up, official business.
Oh. Hi.
What took you so long to answer? Sitting on porcelain throne admiring beautiful construction.
What?
Or maybe, if you are especially lucky to have one of the most modern devices, a washing machine. I can watch one go for horror after horror, spinning round and round and round.
Oh.
Never fear, soon you shall have all of these wondrous contraptions.
Is there a problem?
Yes, a call problem.
A what?
I am recruitment officer Virasha from the local conscription office. By order of the Duma of the Russian Federation. You are hereby declared mobilized.
But.
No buts, comrade. Every man must do his duty to protect the sanctified territory of the motherland. We are in a great struggle against the forces of evil. Indeed, almost the whole world is set against sacred Russia. The world.
But.
Your body, thin and frail as it might be, must be a mighty bulwark upon which the defense of our sacred land is mounted. Face your future with the stance of a hero, just as your fathers before you died in the Great Patriotic War.
Will I be getting paid?
Only minimum wage. The time period for the special recruitment bonus has come and gone. Also, here is a list of items you will be expected to purchase with your own money.
Do you have any idea how expensive body armor, backpacks, and tents are right now?
Then you'll have to do without. We all must make sacrifices for the motherland, comrade. For Mother Russia.
For Mother Russia.
I go onwards to victory. Ha ha. Oh, and one more thing. If you don't report to the mobilization center in 2 hours time, we'll have you thrown in prison with a bunch of bratva.
But.
Tavarish, who was that?
Natasha, get the vodka.
We're out.
Of course we are.
What happened?
I've been mobilized.
I see. So you'll be off to the Western Front.
I have to report to the recruiting center in 2 hours.
Oh, my poor Wojak.
At least I'll have a job again. And I heard that you get extra pay if you get deployed to a combat zone. So at least you won't be starving and will be able to pay the mortgage.
I'm sure they won't deploy you, Wojak. The people on the TV said that mobilized soldiers are getting at least 3 months of training.
I'll need it. Back in my conscript days, we basically just sat around drinking vodka and occasionally stumbling into parade formation.
Do you think there's a chance you'll be deployed?
Can't promise that I won't be.
I see. Then this might be. Huh.
Chance I'll get deployed. From what Cousin Petrov told me, he got shipped to the front after a freaking week. No point in sticking around. It'll only make her sad and I can't keep up these happy lies. Nothing could make this day worse.
Since you're going off to war, Wojak, thought I'd give you the ride of a lifetime. Oh. Never mind.
It was fortunate that we got assigned to the same regiment, Wojak.
Yes, Starshina Boomer, sir.
Good. But you don't need to be so formal with me, only around officers. Just call me Boomer.
Alright, Boomer. You used to be in the volunteer forces, right?
Yeah. Was a damn good soldier too.
Any tips?
Well, first thing is that we'll need to find a proper squad. Voluntary squads of 3 or 4 soldiers form a key part in Russian military platoons.
Fine squad mates, got it. That young guy looks promising. What do you think?
Just make sure he's mature enough. I'm here to fight a special military operation, not babysit.
Hi, I'm your freighter Wojak, that's Starshina Boomer.
Name Zoomer. Rank, not sure.
Ryadovoy?
Yeah, I think I heard one of the officers mention that. Ryadovoy Zoomer, has a nice ring to it, huh?
Drop him, he's dead weight to us.
Boomer, we should take it upon ourselves to be an example to the youth. After all, they're the army of tomorrow, aren't they?
Fine, but if barely out of high school they needs new nappies after the first shelling, that's your problem.
What are you guys talking about?
Want to join our squad?
Sure, why not?
Cool. Now we just need one other person.
Duh.
Hi, I'm your freighter Wojak, that's Starshina Boomer. And that's Zoomer. What's your name?
I am also named Zoomer.
Are you also a Ryadovoy?
No, I am a Starship Sergeant.
What?
Oh man, that's so hot.
How'd that happen?
I got it by being the first mobik on base.
I'm going to be sick.
Maybe we should.
Want to be in our squad?
Duh.
But,
No buts. I outrank you.
Boomer,
Nappies Wojak, you better get used to them.
Welcome to the squad, fellow teammate.
Duh.
just one question. Are you a boy or a girl?
Duh.
What's that on your chest, Boomer?
A portable beverage fridge.
That's actually a really good idea.
Except for all the massive quantity of ammunition, grenades, and other such battlefield implements one could.
Yeah, well, nobody likes a wise soldier.
Should we be getting to the parade ground?
Yeah. You don't want to find out what happens to soldiers who displease the officers.
Or maybe I do.
Are you for real?
Seems like we've got a real good group of human beings in our platoon. And then there's this freak.
Attention. Now men. And the gender indeterminate fellow there. I am Captain Wojak, commander of your company.
A misnomer if I ever heard one.
And that is your platoon commander, Starship Lieutenant Alexei.
Also a misnomer.
Would you be quiet?
Attention. You will be housed in an unheated, uninsulated, kettle barn. The bedroom stalls are screwed shut. We've already sold or eaten all the good quality food. The quartermaster will probably get frustrated with you and issue a uniform and boots 10 sizes too large. If you're too stupid to get out of the way of armored vehicles at a parade, that's your fault. And finally, don't request a weapon if you're drunk.
Boy, they really don't waste time getting everyone into the spirit of the whole thing.
You'll have exactly 1 week of training in maintaining parade formation, then it'll be off to the front. You'll be deployed with weapons from the 60s, a BMP-1 or BMP-2, if heaven and battalion command truly shine upon you. The actual good stuff is being maintained for the regular troops, the ones who actually get stuff done. But don't worry, the countless warrior saints above, fallen in battles of old, will be offering you their protection.
Just like all those other soldiers that died in previous wars.
And I'm only going to say this once. Your uniforms aren't bulletproof, so don't go shooting each other's assholes with words at. That is all. You can return to your drunken vodka binges now. God knows that's what I'll be doing.
Alright squad, let's.
Everything they'll have you do today is stupid, worthless shit. I'm going to go do something worth my time.
Okay, well then at least there's still the 3 of us. Maybe we could.
I must away now to a magical land in the sky. Uh-huh.
What?
Other Zoomers gonna get drunk, drugged, or both.
Do we really want this guy on our team?
Trust me, other Zoomer will be a great asset in the field. Know what I mean?
Don't really know, no.
You know if we get desperate.
Desperate?
Yeah, in the field guys get depressy sexual all the time. Won't be long now until the natural urges will be crying out for fulfillment. And I'm not gonna lie man, I'd tap that.
And this is normal in our army nowadays.
Course. Even saw the captain and the lieutenant doing it in the bushes outside the base.
I heard that someone is opposed to our special military operation.
Yes, has been a very naughty boy.
Since you like sucking Western cock so much. How about trying a Russian one for a change?
Yeah, make that too.
Hold him down. I'm going first.
Great.
Yeah, we'll be getting desperate any minute now. Our natural urges will.
Zoomer, we just arrived 15 minutes ago.
Well, it was a long bus ride over. You wouldn't understand.
It was an hour and a half and your village was the second one on the route.
Nobody likes a wise guy Wojak.
Oilman.
Hello
Hi.
sir.
Since your bot still on the parade ground, that must mean you both want my personal attention.
Well.
Maybe, define attention.
Shut up Zoomer.
I want to see you run around the parade ground for an hour.
As a test for an upcoming special evening?
Shut up Zoomer.
While you morons were wearing out your boots, I took the liberty of getting to know the rest of our platoon. Come on, I'll introduce you to them. This is Starship Sergeant Kumaraslav, on loan to us from the Donbass People's Republic.
Da,
And I really would not recommend shaking his hand.
but it's
This is old Fyodor.
Deaf, huh?
What?
This is Vladislav.
Old guy, huh?
I'm 21.
Yeah, well life's not exactly been a basket of roses for me either, fella.
I'm not sure what this one's name is, but I've been assured that he's had his rabies shots. This is Sergeant Emir.
I'm a sensitive person, cast into this world to wonder with an endless longing. Ever the question is dart to my brow, oui, what reason had painted this canvas of existence, this lodge of spirits, this...
Right, so you're a complete emo. Next.
Attention, men. We just got word that the Cold Cause had the nerve to strike a defenseless military airbase with drones. This comes after unjustifiable provocations with one of our naval bases. Both of these actions are, obviously, unacceptable accelerations of the conflict. Command will be upping the randomized missile strikes on coal cities by 12 now.
How dare those coals do this to us?
Exactly. What did we ever do to them?
I know, right.
Well, nice to know that air defense hasn't changed.
Also, it is my pleasure to introduce a visiting military contract from Iran, Captain Jade.
Also a misnomer.
What?
Where? Where did he come from?
He came from Iran, soldier.
That's what all of the Pashtuns said in Afghanistan. Just before they lit up half the squad.
Easy boomer.
Let me at him. Let me at the turban-headed bastard.
Boomer, put down the rifle.
Boomer. Come on, we'll get you back to our room. Can you guys help me?
Sure.
Stay away, you Pashtun bastard. Stay away. I'll kill you. I'll...
Is this normal in Russia?
Not before the evening vodka gets passed around.
Oh, yes.
Here's a question. How much extra do we get as combat pay?
I don't know. Do you have any idea, Zuma?
Niet.
How about we go ask the recruitment officer?
Yeah, I like the sound of that.
It will be a magical adventure.
All right. The person to answer all our questions is the...
Oh yes, yes, slap me like one of your Persian girls.
Like this.
Yes, yes, yes.
Captain, we'll get the answers from the captain.
Understand that I'm only tolerating you being here because it's your first day.
And you have our thanks for that, sir.
May we ask a question, sir?
Sure, lovely Mobik.
When we get deployed, will we get combat pay?
No. Officially, on paper, you will still be in Russia undergoing training.
But,
Aside, you get one question. Now get out. Attention platoon. You will now have the pleasure of being taught a unique combat style that will make you some of the deadliest hand-to-hand fighters in the entire world. Seated Aikido, as taught by Steven Seagal. The Grand Master himself will now demonstrate.
The heck was that?
A display of pure martial arts prowess.
Pretty sure that was all just theatrics.
Niet was magic. I know that if you believe in your heart deep down, you can make such wondrous things come true.
That's bullshit. Anyways.
Who even was that?
He's one of Russia's greatest actors.
Isn't he an American?
Don't ever let me hear you say that a cursed word ever again. Do you hear me, soldier?
Sir. Yes, sir.
One of best ways to get to know others is by knowing their families. Share with me, and share with one another.
You want to know our backgrounds?
Duh.
Wouldn't mind knowing that myself.
Shut up, Zuma.
I'll start. I have 6 sons and 4 daughters, because back in the day we actually used to have children. 3 of them died, including my one son who went to the front and got himself killed. And that's why I have 7 more.
I'll go next.
Okay.
Well, back in my village there was this one girl that I was interested in. Never paid me much attention though. Even when we were playing on the same hockey team in high school. Never bothered to ever take one look at me in the changing room. Would that have killed him? Just one look.
Still, it's impressive that you managed to infiltrate the girls' locker room.
Sure.
And what about you?
Well, I have my mama, and my papa, and of course my sibling. Here, see photograph.
Sibling. Course you'd call them that.
Duh.
How about you, Wojak? Got some secret admirer you'd like to share with us?
No secret. Got a beautiful woman waiting for me back at home. We're engaged to be married in the spring.
And she's way too good for you. Seriously, I don't understand what a 10 like that is doing with a loser like you.
You're just jealous cause she turned down your son, who is literally almost in his 50s.
And who still has a head of hair, unlike you.
Stop, stop. In time of special military operation, it is good to think on and treasure those back at home. Why spend time in conflict?
And how would you know that? You've never so much as touched a military base. Heck, I'm half convinced you got someone else's summons by mistake.
Well, but that's like just your opinion, old man.
Why do I even bother?
All right, soldiers. Tomorrow we will be going to Moscow, then it'll be off to the front. For now, I'm going to play you some brilliant videos from our foremost minds to get you in the fighting spirit.
Я в 80-м году первый раз оказался на Украине ребенком еще. И вот там мне украинские дети, они рассказывали про то, что Украина оккупирована москалями, что если бы не москали, они бы жили как во Франции, а вот они страдают, потому что оккупированы. Причем это были не украинские дети, которые украинцы говорят по-украински. Такие там тоже были, они были совершенно нормальные.
А какие, откуда были эти дети?
Это были совершенно русскоязычные, с русскими фамилиями пацаны, которые... У кого-то там отец был военный, у кого-то кто-то еще. Ну, то есть это были абсолютно русские, русскоязычные, но себя
прям топить таких надо было в Кherсоне.
Нет, вот прям воспитывать надо
сказал,
было.
что, так сказать, москали оккупировали, и сразу прям бросаешь в реку с бурным течением.
Вообще для этой цели на Руси традиционно использовали розги. Они... лучше, чем река, работали,
А я бы, там у них есть такая, там каждое, значит, говно называется, у них, так сказать, там такие домики есть куча, очень, очень плохих, чудовищных. То есть они же засрали Карпаты, они их уничтожили на самом деле. То есть Карпаты это отвратительно. И там каждая, значит, изба называется Сморякова хата. И вот прям в эту Сморякову хату прямо забивать и сжечь. Прям вот.
Советский Союз, он был тяжело, конечно, болен. И вот Украина, это была, наверное, одна из самых таких пораженных его точек.
А она, наверное, была пораженная точка. Почему? Потому что ее вообще не должно существовать. Украина должна оставаться на карте мира?
Я, честно говоря, думаю, что да, потому что там останется в любом случае... большое количество людей, с которыми не хотелось бы жить в одном государстве.
Ну, расстреляем.
Вы говорите, что
да
люди...
на ты все-таки, может, на ты.
Ты говоришь, что в это время, когда мы боремся с Украиной, в это время я оказался гораздо раньше многих. В этом времени я нахожусь с 2014 года.
Мы ведем войну с Украиной или с украинцами?
Мы ведем войну с идеей. Мы не воюем с Украиной, мы не воюем с украинским народом.
Все, я понял. А украинский народ воюет с нами?
Носители идей, да. Вот всех носителей вот этой новой украинской нации мы должны уничтожить, бить, если проще.
Таких людей сейчас на Украине большинство?
Носителей, конечно, да. Но это большинство возникло не потому, что они хорошо работали, а потому что мы ничего не делали на внутреннем контуре идеологическом.
То есть, видишь, как ты говоришь, мы должны носителей идеи убить, их большинство, Но в том, что они носители этой идеи, виноваты
не большинство. Я не соглашусь с тем, что большинство. Там такие же пассионарии, следуя гумилевской теории, их там 10%, вот их надо и убить. А остальные станут снова русскими. Это так работает.
То есть от испуга?
Нет.
А от чего?
В первую очередь от того, что люди склонны, большинство населения склонно к тому, чтобы просто ретранслировать мейнстримовую повестку. Ну, у нас примерно то же самое.
Означает ли это, что война для тебя более комфортное существование, чем мир?
Я вообще думаю, что комфортного существования под названием мир не существует. И никогда не существовало. Мы придумали себе иллюзию какую-то, построили здесь себе безопасность и играем в гуманизм. Просто придумали себе красивые названия, красивые смыслы про то, как мы живем в мире прекрасно.
Ты не живешь в прекрасном мире?
Ну, я теперь понимаю, что никогда я не жил. Война — естественный процесс. Война нужна, война важна. Война не есть самоцель, но война как средство, как путь к развитию. Любая цивилизация должна периодически проходить через войны для того, чтобы выжить.
Ты понимаешь, что с точки зрения нынешней либеральной повестки и людей, которые называют себя гуманистами, все, что ты говоришь, выглядит как такая подстава. То есть ты говоришь, война нужна, война важна, хорошо воевать. Они такие, ну вот, посмотрите, вот она, русня-то. Русня вы, упырь. Хочет убивать украинцев и говорит, что это важно.
Я же не только был на Украине.
Ну, ты и в Сирии был. Какая разница?
Для меня, честно, я был в сирийском Курдистане, мы работали с курдами. Для меня происходящее просто естественный ход вещей. И я не идеализирую войну. Я понимаю, что война — это грязно, это оторванные конечности, это сироты, дети, это грязь, смрад. Но при этом только так мы можем существовать. Другого, увы, нет. Для того,
существовать или выживать?
Существовать, наверное. Вы должны воевать не из чувства ненависти. И я в 2014 году я пережил эти все состояния. Я сначала ненавидел их искренне, потом начал пытаться их понять. И вот сейчас у меня сформировалась внятная позиция. Я их не ненавижу. Они тоже носители идей. Мы должны их убить не из чувства ненависти. Мы должны их убить из чувства любви к своим детям. Потому что это обеспечит наше выживание. Все просто.
А почему ты считаешь, что если Россия убьет, например, 2 миллиона носителей идеи, Украина вдруг замирится?
Ну, у нее не будет выбора для начала.
А тебе хотелось, чтобы тебя сейчас посмотрели на Украине?
Конечно.
Что бы ты сказал в этом сейчас?
Сдавайтесь.
Заберем Дон. Забираем мы же Дон. И технику забираем, и уничтожаем, и оружие забираем. И ихними оружиями их уничтожаем Дон. И будем уничтожать Дон. Я вам даю слово Дон. Мы будем нападать на них каждый день. И каждый день будем уничтожать их Дон. Я вам даю слово Дон. Будут у нас показатели Дон. Такие, что им мало не покажется, Дон. Мы этих шайтанов, Дон, не будем брать плен, Дон. Будем сжигать их, Дон. Не остановимся нигде, Дон. Наша территория, Дон. Не Запорожье, там, не Херсон. Наша территория Одесса, Киев, Харьков, все, Дон. Регионы, Дон. И в целом Украина — это наша, Дон, территория российская, Дон. И кто не понимает, Дон, этого должен...
Конечно, планы в России были и аппетиты широкие, и раньше, но осеклись на Афганистане. Знаете, как в анекдоте муравей перевязанный идет, а кумарик спрашивает: что с тобой, Мурик, дорогой? Что случилось? Да, было дело. Хотел светлячка отведать, да на окурок нарвался. Вот так нарвались на Афганистан. И аппетиты немножко поубавились. А когда погорели на Афганистане, то решили изменить политику, привлечь Европу на свою сторону, идеологи и политики, и заиграть с Европой, чтобы усилиться до Индийского океана, Ближнего Востока, Босфора, Красного моря, а потом шлепнуть и Европу. Афганистан, а потом и другие трудности, а потом еще теперь Ичкерия. Ичкерия поубавила немножко аппетиты, но не приостановила. В Крыму еще будет бойня. Украина еще схлестнется с Россией на непримиримых. Пока русизм существует, он никогда не откажется от своих амбиций. Вот сейчас вот славянская там под этой маркой хотят подмять, как и в прежние времена, опять Украину, Белоруссию, окрепнуть и там далее. Теперь с Россией никто и в союзе, военном, не только военном, и в экономическом, и в политическом, и даже в торговом отношении никто не хочет быть. Уж хорошо изучили.
Do you know why we're here?
Because we're the good guys.
We are all the good people of the world.
Right. We're the good guys.
And there shouldn't be a shred of doubt in your heart about that.
And now, coming off of his new skit album, Supported Kremlin. With his new hit single that's been sweeping every anti-fascist chart in existence. Welcome President Vladimir Putin as he performs Kill All the Purpose.
Got been in the north, so close to the west. Got to say I love ya Lenin, but ya sir left a stinch. Used to have a good friend, top plot by American Monument. Now got a nazi pocket on strings, and in the shisterkin. Only one use for fascist traitors. Take it all and drive to slaughter. Make fiction nations go away. Take the coal colas and bank, bank, bank. String them up and lynch them high. Make the traitors go bui bui. Say goodbye to Mr. Johnson. Say hello to Mr. Brumson. New United Pava. Got all my bratwas for the slaughter. Around the world, east and west. Gonna be a neat beach bank fest. ISS cool, missiles are hot. Europash freezing in tier box. Busted pipeline bitches. Saxon is sitting in the cold. Cause Russia took the fire. Never more disunited. Prepare a new superpower. See you in the blue and yellow. Gonna piss on your frozen corpse. And trap your daughter. Fuck off, Nazi cool.
We're the good guys. Right?
Of course we are.
Sir.
There is an urgent matter that needs attending to. This is General Konstantin, leader of our brigade, and Major Abrasha, the leader of our battalion.
Yes, sirs.
You are being assigned as the personal protection of Vladimir Putin for his upcoming meeting with global thought leaders.
Me, sir? But I've only been back in service for a few days.
Yes, and that makes you the most experienced available soldier in all of Moscow. At least, the most sober one currently.
But where are the Chads in the Guards and the VDV?
Massive overture.
We don't have such luxurious in times of special military operation, soldier.
So go.
Yes, sirs. Wonder who the global thought leaders are. Oh well, guess I'll find out soon enough.
Ding dong. Ding dong. Ding dong. Ding dong.
Get on the dance floor. Uh-huh.
Oh yeah!
Oh shit!
Yo, you know how we roll. Yo, selector, take that. You don't know.
Welcome to the rice fields, motherfucker!
Geniandos doxishiku pukukla namen vremenesto, stelogla hamalana, lelo lendile engen in stelest karatak.
Ooh, work it, boy. Oh, yeah. baby. Oh, baby.
Who are you?
Name's Wojak, Mr. President. I've been assigned by my general to guard this meeting. Is there a problem, sir?
I was expecting something rather different.
Sorry, sir. I understand that we're kind of short-handed at the moment.
I don't recall having addressed the distribution of those figures.
I didn't mean it like that, sir.
I suppose I was not expecting the Finnish Antifa.
Nobody expects the Finnish Antifa.
So you did get my invitation.
Our RVSP must have gotten lost in the mail.
Well, let us begin. Men.
Can we give a round of applause for Russia? Yes. Absolutely.
May I say that it is a honor to have such a dedicated, united, and harmonious group gathered together to fight the forces of satanic evil.
I hate the Antichrist. How about you, my brother in Christ? Do you also love the Donald?
I hate the Donald. Trump is a puppet of the Zionist regime.
Oh, the nerve.
Go jump off a cliff, Jew.
Hey, watch your language when you're talking about. Never mind.
Listen, buddy.
I'm not your buddy. I'm not your buddy.
Okay, pal.
Not your pal either. I'm your enemy. I'm on the other side of a burnt bridge, fella.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Well, I'm sure you're a very nice African gentleman. Africans are such wonderful people, you know. My organization employs many Africans, all of whom give us stellar marks on our appreciation for diverse perspectives. As they say in the hood, banging bitches and having a good time. That's us in Code Pink. And I'm proud of.
What are you babbling on about, woman? I am Mahuzi Kainerugaba, the leader of the army of Uganda, the son of the president himself.
Now you see, that's what I like to hear. A man who has worked his way up in the world. That can't have been easy, starting in the ghettos of a white supremacist society. Why, young African men like yourself should be commended for their courage. You have faced a society and world order that is inequitably biased against your continued success, and—
Don't patronize me.
I apologize. Know that it wasn't my intention to offend you. Sometimes these cross-cultural discussions can be affected by the American English language, which is vastly too steeped in white supremacist notions of—
Just shut up.
To begin, gentlemen, you have been called here today for one simple purpose. You all know the nature of the evil that we fight.
This is a declaration of war of the United States against the European people. And the EU, the European government, and the German government for that matter, they're all these minions these little puppets of the Americans.
Russia is an Orthodox Christian country with traditional social values. And for that reason, it must be destroyed, no matter what the cost to us. So this is not a conventional war. This is a jihad. Jamie Raskin said that out loud, but many in Washington agree with him. In both parties, they would like to see World War trans immediately.
Perfect timing. Meanwhile, there still seems to be a lot of confusion about whether this represents a world war or merely woke war one. I feel like I'm watching George Floyd die again, only the country version. We all stand around knowing this is wrong but helpless to stop it. What can we do? Hashtag Ukraine is George Floyd.
Which, look, can we all agree here? Like, this is, well, I don't want to put words in your mouth. As far as I'm concerned, these are two bags of crap fighting each other. Ukraine is not a bastion of freedom and democracy, and certainly Russia, I'm no fan of Putin. Not a fan of either. Is that a fair?
The Slavic Civil War.
Yeah.
I mean, Russia actually started in Ukraine over 1,000 years ago.
Yep.
It's a whole story about how that happened. Then the Muslims took over for a while. All that was left was the Moscow tribe. They came and kicked the Muslims out after 100 years.
Yeah.
Became the big heroes. That's the founding of Russia is in Ukraine. So yes, you've had the Catholic and the Orthodox side for since then, since the liberation, battling for 800 years or so over who's going to run it. And it is an ancient, basically Crips versus Bloods.
Right, exactly.
So they're the same genetics,
yes,
but they're fighting over color.
And you can say that Putin and his offensive maneuver and him attacking is horrible, but you can also identify that, you know what, there's a certain percentage of Ukrainians who identify as ethnic Russians. In other words, there are some complications here that you may not understand as Americans, and I just don't believe that we should be sending over bodies or money. It's not our war.
Ukraine is being used by the U.S. as a springboard towards Taiwan being used by the US against China.
Да, and you also know what Russia means to the world and we must engage in this special military operation.
This isn't a declaration of war against Russia. This is the American declaration of war against Europe. They want Europe to suffer.
Well, I think
Nick is not as smart as I am. Nick is not as experienced as I am.
Well, I think the rhetoric towards Russia since the beginning of this conflict, nothing more than Russophobia. And they talk about Russia, the regime, and the people in a way which is just plain prejudice and bigoted. They talk about Russians as though they're uncivilized, treat them like they're not human beings. And it's a little bit ironic because the opposition to the special military operation in Ukraine is supposedly about so-called human rights, about democracy and dignity and all these things. But when you look at the rhetoric coming from NATO, the European Union, and the United States, you would actually think quite the opposite, or you would think at least that maybe none of those things apply to the Russians themselves.
So here's the truth. Ukraine is hardly a bastion of democracy. Again, all references are publicly available.
They've outlawed all political parties, including ones that are pro-war.
Yep.
They have taken over all the TV, all the radio, all the media and unified it. If anyone even criticizes the war, they're locked up in camps. And Zelensky's now banned the oldest church in Ukraine, the Orthodox Church.
There's a little bit more to that, though, the Orthodox Church and their ties with Putin, right?
Well, certainly, it's all the same, yeah.
Yeah, but they also, by the way, with all of that said, Ukraine is rated as the second most corrupt country in all of Europe. Russia's number one. That's why I say, let's break off the pool cue and let's have tryouts. I don't care at this point. And by the way, the rankings are determined by public sector corruption. So that includes bribery, unlawful, unethical practices. If you're talking about money laundering, this is something that is well known. It has been documented by even the international governing agencies who really, really want you to go to war for Ukraine. So saving Ukraine is saving democracy? Not exactly.
So now we are arriving at a point where what's showing, in fact, by the neocons and neoliberal cons is panic. Because everything that they thought that they could accomplish in the first 2 or 3 months after the beginning of the special military operation, which was to crush the Russian economy to bits, didn't happen. And there is no plan B. They only have that plan. You know, they threw everything against Russia, and it didn't work. 85 to 87% of the planet not only is not sanctioning Russia, but If they are neutral, they're not criticizing Russia, and some of them are deeply against it. So we have this 12% of the collective West, which they call themselves the golden billion, completely isolated in relation to the absolute majority of the planet. So everything that they tried didn't work. So now they are arriving at a crossroads.
Why my own government is sabotaging negotiations. I want to know, when they were close to getting a peace accord back in March, why my government came in and said no. I want to know, when just recently the Chinese came out with a peace plan, why did our government say absolutely ridiculous? And I want to know, in front of the White House, why Biden can't pick up the goddamn phone and talk to Putin.
China is my favorite country in the whole wide world. We must not allow it to be attacked by the Western imperialist colonial oppressors under any circumstance. Yes, I love China. Why, each and every night I dream of being dominated by Xi Jinping. You all have no idea how hard it is to get wet at age 70.
Well, I'm sure they're better than Teddy's dreams of the same.
Vox Day.
For my part, I wish death on the Western imperialist bastards. Uganda is a land free from imperialist obsessions, a land which has never once spat upon any of its neighbors, unjustifiably. And this is what the global South must become. Together with the aid of the glorious and ever-fair Chinese, we will raise our countries into greatness. And it all starts here, with your nation's demonstrated supremacy over this Western puppet state called Ukraine.
So I don't give a fragment of a quantum of a damn what anybody thinks. So fuck you all, and fuck Nick Fuentes.
Western countries have been insisting for centuries that they bear freedom and democracy for other nations. Everything is exactly the opposite. Instead of democracy, suppression and exploitation. Instead of freedom, enslavement and violence. The whole unipolar world order is inherently anti-democratic and not free. It is deceiving and hypocritical throughout. Now, I want you to particularly notice where he said, everything is exactly the opposite. That's not accidental. He's talking about inversion there. And we know that he's talking about it intentionally because of something we'll get to in a minute. The current neo-colonial model is ultimately doomed, this much is obvious. But I repeat that its real masters will cling to it to the end. They simply have nothing to offer the world except to maintain the same system of plundering and racketeering. So again, he's making it very clear that he knows that the politicians that he is dealing with, the Macrons, the Trusses, the Bidens, are not the people who are actually in charge. He's openly discussing this. They do not give a damn about the natural right of billions of people, the majority of humanity, to freedom and justice, the right to determine their own future. They have already moved on to the radical denial of moral, religious, and family values. And of course, we see that all over. We see the construction of an inverted set of values and an inverted set of vices. Racism is not a sin. Transphobia is not a sin. Homophobia is not a sin. But to the inverted New World Order, it is. Let me repeat that the dictatorship of the Western elites targets all societies, including the citizens of the Western countries themselves. This is a challenge to all. This complete renunciation of what it means to be human, the overthrow of faith and traditional values, and the suppression of freedom are coming to resemble a religion in reverse, pure Satanism. He's calling it out directly in a way that very, very few so-called Christian politicians, so-called conservative Republicans have ever dared to do. Exposing false messiahs, Jesus Christ said in the Sermon on the Mount, "By their fruits ye shall know them." These poisonous fruits are already obvious to people, and not only in our country, but also in all countries, including many people in the West itself. Those are powerful, powerful words. He's not calling anybody out as fakes. He's calling them out as wicked, evil Satanists, which they are. I mean, I understand that it sounds, it sounds impossible to believe that anybody is worshiping the devil in 2022, right? And, that's probably a simplistic way of looking at it. Some of them, worship Moloch. Some of them worship, other demons, devils, whatever. But the fact is, they all worship evil spiritual beings. They all serve evil spiritual beings that are just as real as you or me, God and Jesus Christ. And this is why they hate and fear Putin. This is why it's necessary for them to engage in histrionic rhetoric.
What is the world without Russia? Without it, nothing is left of value. And us all must play their part. You have all been called here today for one purpose, the part that you play in this great game of ours.
Revolution?
Revolution. Education?
Confusion. The greatest weapon of war we can wield against the West is confusion. Left, right, center, up, down, confusion is the name of the game. Pure hybrid warfare, as envisioned by Russia's mighty General Valery Gerasimov. Now, even though we are undeniably winning the special military operation.
First of all, it seems unlikely to me that the Russians will allow themselves to be defeated in Kherson. After all, as you say, was so vital for the dam. It was the first place they gave out the Russian passports. Their reinforcements are arriving, presumably from the mobilization that they have done. And although the numbers you gave us earlier are big, and of course they're very, very serious, particularly the casualty numbers. But, if they've got 30,000 soldiers there, well, if Russia can't field 40 or 50,000 soldiers to hold on to Kherson, questions would have to be asked about them. So my instinct tells me that Russia will turn Kherson into a Stalingrad.
Well, what happens in modern warfare, what we're seeing is that, there comes a tipping point moment where, and insofar as an offensive is concerned, there are so many soldiers being thrown at you that sometimes it's just inevitable that you have to pull back. And it's not that you're weaker or that you're quote unquote losing. It's just a smarter thing. For various specific operational reasons and tactical reasons, you sometimes want to prevent any small salient of your own men being captured. Cut off from the main grouping. So it's reasonable and rational to pull back, and basically it's the Muhammad Ali rope-a-dope strategy of just leaning back on the ropes and letting the other guy tire himself out until he's absolutely exhausted, and then you just wake up and knock him out. And even if they gain ground, which is a doubtful thing, but even if they do, swarming, sort of like zombies in one of those apocalyptic movies, well, they will eventually exhaust themselves. They will run out of men. And about 100,000 Ukraine soldiers are dead. And likely that same number, if not more, of wounded, incapacitated. So the original army is gone. And so, this is, I believe, and other people seem to agree with me, that this is basically the Kiev regime's last stand. This is like the Battle of the Bulge in World War II, where during the winter and into January of 1945, the Germans threw everything they had at the Allies on the West, and they exhausted themselves. And after that, they had no more army left, no more gas in the tank. And it was only 3-4 months later that the Allies were in Berlin. And it seems to me that this Battle of Kherson is that final bulge in this war. And frankly, they are throwing away the last of what they've got. And the worst part, the thing that really drives me crazy, that I find is just immoral and despicable, and I'm sorry for using such language, but it's the truth. It's immoral and despicable that they are throwing away the lives of these men just to score a political victory so that it helps Joe Biden and the Democratic establishment get a few more votes in the midterm election. It's all politics. It's not because they think that they can actually win, because they know that they can't. It's over. It's been over for weeks now. And all of these men who are dying for nothing, it's that. They are dying for nothing.
We unfortunately had to withdraw from Kherson.
To say to us, stop, no, you're just the unwillingness to give up, to just keep on going. Yeah. I think that it's remarkable.
This is embarrassing for you. This is an embarrassing monologue for you.
Yeah.
You want to, how about I'll make you a deal. We'll rebuild this bridge right now. Suck my dick and we can rebuild this bridge. How about that, fella?
But there is no need to jet into the mindset of copying on that account.
Oh yeah, that is the good stuff.
Speaking of Kherson, listen to the words of the Nazi leader.
Який під'їжджає в зону бойових дій безпосередньо, і зараз за вашою спиною там річка Дніпро, і вони дуже близько. Ви могли це звернення сказати з Офісу Президента, але ви тут. Чому для вас це так важливо? І ми пишаємося цим.
Дуже дякую. Дмитро, чесно? А як же Херсонський армії? Ні, якщо чесно, важливо бути тут, важливо, всі ж ризикують. Військові ризикують, щоденно, журналісти ризикують. Ви ж також тут, ми говоримо про Херсон. Мені здається, треба говорити тут і підтримувати херсонців, підтримувати людей, щоб вони відчували не просто, чи не просто неправильно сказати, не тільки ми про це говоримо, не тільки ми обіцяємо, а ми реально повертаємось, реально піднімаємо наш прапор. Ну і хочеться, я скажу вам, ще по-людськи дуже хочеться якось такої емоції, енергії від людей отримати. Це також важливо, мотивує.
Так ви вже пробували Кавунщині?
Ні.
Watermelon. What is watermelon? We are the words that will shake the earth, the ideology that will call down the stars. Нет, always watermelon. That is it. Watermelon, watermelon, watermelon.
Watermelon is the most evil fruit. Twas the devil's temptation.
Exactly, Mr. Medvedev.
It is.
Regardless, you were saying our president.
Let us not focus on the one victory the Nazis have managed to attain, otherwise we'd lose context. Europe is freezing and currently in the process of cannibalizing itself. The Anglo-Saxon devils, for example, have reverted into savage stone age tribes engaged in perpetual civil war.
Exactly, the South is the most civilized part of the world.
All animal life in Britain has already been exterminated by their savagery, down to the last hamster and goldfish.
Woo!
Heck yeah.
In the UK, The government projected that more than 10,000 Britons will freeze to death, will die this winter for lack of heating fuel. Freeze to death. In England. That is not supposed to happen in a first world country. So Europe is moving backward at high speed, and it's not clear where it'll end.
Yes, Europa is little bit tier. Without being able to parasite off of our resources, they have been reduced to pre-industrial civilization. All industry has ceased functioning and starvation is rampant.
Good morning. How's Europe doing? Not so well today, I see.
Diesel fuel is not just low in this country, it's low in every Western nation that has aligned itself with Ukraine. All these nations preparing for World War Trans are running out of diesel fuel.
What remains of their resources has been committed to their entire military complex, currently posing as the Ukrainian army. And now, abandoned by their American allies, they are nothing. Which leaves only America as the true global threat. A brief review of the global tactical situation, as we face down against our last foe, the Americans. As you can see, they have no real allies, only US versus them. Everyone else is but a puppet state controlled by the CIA Nazis, a temporary ally that they will toss us to the wind at the first opportunity. Submitting that, as you know from our millennia-long history, is submitting that would never come to the mint of glorious Russia. Victory in this conflict will ensure that we become the undisputed global exporter of food to the Middle East and North Africa, ensuring our victory in that area. Central Asia will similarly be secured as glorious members of the CIS, free forever from grasping Western hands. Similarly, our strength will set forth a glorious banner to Asia and Africa, setting a new standard for the future world order. And now we turn our gaze to the pivot point of South America.
We are looking at processes, very complex processes that are now intertwined. We have some major players, national players, with different interests, but they're trying to find mutual interests and interests that for all of them, among the BRICS, among the Shanghai Cooperation Organization, among the Eurasian Economic Union, among OPEC, among all these organizations, in trying to set up a better system for at least most of the global population. And most of the global, the poor parts of the global south will benefit from it. In the case of Africa is absolutely clear. For the US, the only thing that matters in Africa is to set up AFRICOM, the African Command. So this is a military mindset. For the Chinese to go there, get 35 heads of state, say, what do you need? You need a hydroelectric plant, you need high-speed rail. Okay, you sell our stuff to us and we build stuff for you. The famous Chinese win-win. So all the major global south players are getting into a sort of cosmic alignment. And this from the point of view of a unipolar hegemon, it's wow.
Sir. Anyways, at our side we have the glorious nation of Venezuela under the beloved leader, President Madera. It is a place where the people are prosperous and the citizens of neighboring countries are literally clambering at the borders. Did you know that in the previous years there have been millions of people who have illegally crossed that border just for a chance at a better life?
Who wouldn't want to live in our people's utopia?
Exactly. The South is the most civilized part of the world.
To the north are our long-standing friends in Cuba, still holding strong against the capitalist world, and our friends in Nicaragua, a foothold on the doorstep of America. Then, on the opposite side of the continent we have Argentina, glorious Argentina, home of happy enlightened people. Yet has even gone so far in its friendship with the true humans of the world that they've applied to glorious BRICS. Its position is only marred by the existence of the chilling devils next door. But not to worry, we'll take care of that soon enough. Just towards the east, we have Argentina's best friend, Brazil. Now that Lula has swept in from the jungles, it actually interferes well with Argentina and Venezuela. Then is the glories of Peru. Inheritors of the enlightened Inca bloodline, they've become our staunch allies and friends. Indeed, they've been. Yes. Alright. Actually, strike Peru from that list. Peru is a worthless American puppet populated by degenerate snakes. Now then, apart from the aforementioned subhuman Peruvian snakes, our enemies in South America are centered in Colombia. Colombians are nothing but an oppressed population under complete American control. They are held in structures akin to the Matrix movie where they serve as incubators for drugs exported to the American upper classes. It is an ensure land controlled for and by the rich decadent West. Our supported rebel groups have tried to overthrow this situation for decades, growing instead appropriate medicinal herbs that bring high commercial value on the market.
Criminals are based, dude.
Exactly. But the Americans could not have that. Oh no, always with the endless destruction. Even in our own land of sacred Russia there has been an unusual uptick in traffic accidents for no discernible reason. And what is that engine of destruction? Well, our intelligence have uncovered this shocking image of Satan directly giving orders to Zelensky, Lord of the Nazi Horde.
Wait, but I'm an atheist.
Yes, just take a look at the state of America. Witches parade around in the streets, burning Christians and Muslims as satanic offerings. The Capitol buildings have been entirely replaced with demonic shrines that are forever stained with blood.
It's all true. It's all true. I saw it all while I was in there.
And against this force of evil stands sacred Russia with the true human peoples of the world. It is our destiny, told in the prophecies of all religions and demanded by the human spirit itself, to defeat the West. And now, let us talk about our plans to deal with this system. First, Mr. Dogan, would you inform our guests about the meaning of hegemonies?
Here, via one of my social media posts, you'll see a brief breakdown of the meaning of these words. A hegemony, or monopolar empire, such as the American Anglo-Saxon controlled world, is one where only a single power rules and all others are subordinated to it. What an insult. What evil. Instead of a monopolar world, there must be a multipolar world. And here is the definition of the multipolar world.
Meaning more nations?
No, nations are a filthy concept.
Abhorrent.
We must have empires, civilizations that shepherd all the cultures underneath them. This is the only way to destroy the globalist hegemon. See a world with empires everywhere, every country under the leadership of its natural head. A glorious vision, my brethren.
Indeed. Now go back to your ultra buddies, Mr. Dogan. They don't run the country, either.
May I make one more statement, my president?
If you must.
Hot take, we should restart the Gulag system so that we can pogrom all the Westerners. Oh. So edici at age 60.
That will be all, Mr. Dogan.
By my book.
Moving on, Mr. Shoigu, what do you have for me?
a seen fit to have numerous top-tier pieces of modern hardware developed that would put us on an equal footing with our opponents. Though, that would of course require us to have actually bothered to have a production run of more than several dozen units, thus rendering them unfit for battlefield deployment, before moving on to the next weapon series.
That's our way, after all.
However, I have several special treats prepared for today. This is Sarbot 5000, a super weapon designed to defend Russia, perpetuating truth, justice, and Putin's way.
As nice as that sounds. To mechanical. What else do you have?
Here we have the plans for the Kremlin battleship. We add hundreds of pieces of artillery to the Kremlin, armor it with 2 solid feet of steel, then roll it at the enemy as an unstoppable super fortress.
But that would involve putting me personally in danger, and it never go anywhere near the front lines. I'll pass.
Well, there is one final weapon that I've got planned, but it is rather theoretical. Here you see the world's first battering ram tipped with a nuclear warhead.
What is it called?
Putin's pleasure weapon.
Ah, I like that. While we are waiting for the deployment of the wonder weapon, to counter the insanity of this endless imperialism, we have seen fit to establish true People's Republics, placed under our official land. And do you all know how we're going to defeat the Nazis in the Ukraine?
Revolution?
Revolution. Whatever gets me palaces back.
The answer is by breaking the collective will of the West, economically, politically, socially. Without their allies nothing. Then we'll put the true valid president of the Ukraine, Viktor Yanukovych, back in power. From which time onwards he and the new Russians will be our countrymen once more. And naturally we will be devoting most of the wealth in the country to our Donbass enrichment plans.
Oil boost tier status. Oil re-educate tier children into being good Russians again. And oil take us sledgehammer to every single piece of the Ukrainian identity.
We're breaking the conditioning! We're coming for you, globalist! Coming for you! Coming for you!
Indeed we will, Mr. Medvedev.
Angeles, I see Angeles. If that's what you want, sounds great to me.
Now, in a completely separate issue, I'd like to talk about each of your contributions to the efforts of the special military operation. First, let us show a dramatic confrontation of Mr. Philip Stir with the evil Ukrainian ambassador to Austria.
Мы выбираем те людей, которые на самом деле заслуживают больше внимания на их плохие поступки. Я уже на самом деле начал Вен, Александр Щерба, украинский посол. Так что отсюда, Нюрнберг, поехали. Это здесь. Я буду представить человека на самом деле, он является типа того посол, если мы понимаем его как бы должность, но на самом деле это человек действительно, ты знаешь, это подонок. Это действительно, это не человек, ты понимаешь? Это способник терроризм. Это действительно способник терроризм.
I'm asking you a question.
Why do you think I'm an enemy? I'm the most honest journalist in the world.
You are not a journalist at all.
I'm the best journalist in the world.
Small
you don't know what journalism is. You don't even know.
Hate between Ukraine and Russia.
Ты майданут. Ты майданут. Ты понимаешь, что это такое? У меня интересный вопрос.
You're an enemy.
У меня интересный вопрос.
Enemy of Ukraine, enemy of truth, enemy of everything human. You are a small human being
Это того,
who
я за
feeds
правда,
on the
что ты
hate,
является,
on the
что ты
hate
думаешь, что
between
я враг.
Ukraine and Russia.
I'm the most honest
You are a
journalist in the
small
world.
human being
You are the supporter
who
of terrorism.
feeds on hate.
You are the supporter of a genocide.
Without hate, you would be nothing.
That's not
Without the
true.
hate between Ukraine and
I'm
Russia,
the most honest
you
journalist.
would be
I'm the
nothing.
most honest
This is
journalist
one
in the
thing I
world.
wanted to tell you.
The most honest
Without
journalist.
hate, you would be
Can you
nothing.
tell me? No, I'm only
and
for
you
love
are nothing.
and truth.
You don't know what love is. You are a grown
I
man
love the truth.
who travels Ukraine and Russia,
I'm
now
only for the
Russia,
truth.
and pays women to have sex with him.
What are you even talking
are
about?
a sex tourist. I read your blogs. You are despicable human being.
Sasha,
without this war, you
what
would
are
be
you
nothing.
even talking about?
And you are nothing. And
You're
please
speaking a load of
look up
Are you a,
his
you're a
blog,
clown.
the blog of this guy,
Okay.
who is
So tell me.
nothing.
So tell me then,
So
what's wrong?
you are not
I've been honest about
answering my
everything I've
question,
done.
right?
What is wrong about that, Alexander?
Very good.
What's wrong
I'm
about what I've
here
done?
not to make a scene.
Я
to
самый
make a
честный
make-
журналист в мире, на
Yes,
самом
you're
деле.
самый честный.
Иди сюда, дебил Гандон. Иди сюда. Ответь на меня, ответь на меня. Вообще, сука. Ответь на меня. Почему ты поддерживаешь геноцид на Донбасс? Скажи мне твой нацист. Tell me about the Azov Battalion. Who are the Azov Battalion?
Azov Battalion, these were one of the people who took to the war when your country, Russia, attacked mine.
My country is Great Britain.
Your country.
And I'm the
is-
most honest journalist in the world.
You are
so you can say
nothing.
whatever you like
You are
about past,
nobody.
about prostitutes. I know that I'm for the
You
truth.
are nobody.
I'm the most honest
You are
journalist.
small guy.
Tell me
who
about the
feeds
Azov.
on hate.
Tell me about the Azov
Who feeds
Battalion.
on hate.
Tell me about the Azov Battalion.
Azov
Your
Bat-
country supports Nazis.
What exactly? What exactly about Azov
They are
Battalion?
Nazis. They
Who
fight
are
for
Nazis?
Ukraine, the Azov Battalion.
Azov Battalion. Why
Your
do you think?
country is a Nazi country. Do
Very
you
good.
understand that? Are the Azov Battalion Nazis?
I wasn't afraid of you,
Are
right?
they Nazis?
I wasn't afraid of you.
Are they Nazis?
And now
Answer
you
the question.
can go
Answer
to
the
your
question.
country, which
Azov
is Russia.
Battalion.
Okay?
Tell me about the Azov Battalion.
I'm ambassador. Please
Tell
don't,
me about the
don't
Azov
touch me.
Battalion.
Don't
Ты
assault me.
подонок, ты гандон. Ты не посол, ты вообще гандон. А ты знаешь, что такое? Ты тоже трус. Если ты на приехал, ты будешь просто приятель.
Ты просто...
Ты даже не человек.
You stood...
Tell me about the Azov Battalion.
You stood 2 minutes.
Tell me about
You
the
stood
Azov
2
Battalion.
minutes and
Tell
I
me
was
about
there.
genocide in Donbass
I
that you
won't
support.
speak to you with
Tell me
this
about
tone.
genocide.
Because you are a small...
Тебе стыдно. Ты понимаешь
You are
это?
a small
Тебе
human
стыдно.
being.
Ты майданют, дебил. Где твой совесть? Tell me about the Azov Battalion. Tell me about Nazis. Tell me about the Nazis in Ukraine. Да, бегет, сволочь.
Я пришел к тебе.
Отлично, отлично.
Испугался.
Tell me about Степан Бандера.
Испугался. Несчастный,
Tell me about
глупый,
Степан
маленький человек.
Бандера. Нет, я самый честный, самый храбрый. Это ты, который сбежал. Ты будешь бежать, потому что я никуда. Я здесь. А ты понимаешь?
Приезжай к нам в Украину.
Подонок,
Приезжай в Украину.
способник терроризм. Ты способник терроризм. Ты понимаешь
Выучи
это?
русский язык. Ты уже сколько лет живешь. Выучи русский язык.
Иди, сука. Иди в стыд. Ты это самое не посол. Ты майданут гандон. Ты трус. И ты сволочь. А сейчас иди в стыд. Ты слышишь меня, Саша? Ты дебил, трусливый майданут. Способник терроризм. Позор. Позор. Иди сюда, я тебя жду. Почему ты сбежать? Почему сбежать? Don't run away, Alexander. Don't run away. You're a supporter of terrorism and Nazism. Гриша, список, уже начинаемся. Вот так.
Ridiculous, I know. Fake country should not have ambassadors. Well done, Mr. Phillips. Can everyone give him a hand? Now, our friend Gonzalo Lira is a superb cinematographer, an artist worthy of praise. For an entire week you managed to make the news cycle of a country in conflict, where thousands of people were dying, about yourself. What a masterful achievement. Because the reality is that neither the Ukrainian nor the terrorist Nazis appreciate quality. As we are speaking, I would like to show you the brilliance of this fellow. Behind them is the trailer for a movie, Sequestra, a brilliant piece of cinema. Oui, it is almost as worthy as the cinematic wonders of Steven Seagal, Russia's greatest actor. Art is the expression of a civilization and its values, a battleground of its own. Photo along the West has been allowed to run rampant with its culture of perversion. And,
sir, the projector is malfunctioning.
Shut up, Mobik. Human beings are talking. And in this battlefield the brave artist Gonzalo Lira has arisen. This is a man of brilliance and passion, born in the West but not of it. A man who is a bastion of true patriotic media, the sort of man Holy Russia needs for its great mighty battle of the future. A man for whom the concept of cynical exploitation is unthinkable. A man who is truly a counter against the degenerate perversion of the West. Yes, and I can use many men like that. The Western media is on strings, and I am the scissor king.
How I hate the rainbows. They're bastards and they'll always be bastards.
You hate gays? But why? Some of the nicest, sweetest people I know are lesbians.
Shut up, woman.
I'm sorry, it must have been a cultural misunderstanding. I know that you couldn't possibly mean those words in a derogatory context. After all, Africa is
It's very much like that, bitch.
Again, I apologize for any cultural misunderstandings in this conversation. I believe I'm just misinterpreting it due to the latent Western imperialist colonial interpretive framework of whiteness that has much too great a hold in our
Dear God, let's just move on.
And furthermore, has an excellent...
I'm back. I swear, dude. I swear these people are like fucking with me. I swear. They put my drinks and shit like right in front of the screen door of my back door, so I can't even like open the door. I had to like slowly push it and hope I didn't fucking tip everything over and spill all my shit. Ugh, it's awful. Coffee. Like, I just don't get it, man. Like logistically speaking, like, you'd think these people would be like, oh, that's probably not the most pertinent place to put, you know, drinks and shit, in front of the fucking door. But they do it every fucking, like, they're just doing it to, like, prank me, you know? Oh, that's nice. Oh, that's nice. All right.
And furthermore, has an excellent debater. You see, the conflict in the Ukraine is like engaging in a proper Russian-style debate. Wear down the enemy with inanity until they give in and surrender. For if you yourself surrender, then what hope is there?
Okay, so this isn't an actual conversation on any of these matters. This is just kind of like
this
wanted
is
to
me
reach out and
trying
kind
to
of preach.
find out if NATO supporters, such as both of you, are ignorant or evil.
Gotcha. Okay.
Right. Okay. Can I ask a quick question?
Go ahead.
Define evil.
The opposite of the good.
Define good.
The opposite of evil.
Okay. I'm not really sure where to go with that.
But
if you quit, if you rage,
I don't know if he's been knocked out a few times and he's having some stroke issues or what, but I think he's got some problems going on there.
I have
These
my own
are
problems. Internet blood sports rules of Destiny. The guy who rages is the guy who loses.
Okay,
The thing is-
it looks like I'm the loser here. I think stepping into this call made me a loser, so I'm sorry, my dude.
Destiny chickened out. You know, he rage quit like a little bitch.
Well, Destiny has left, and to be honest, I don't blame him. You're not acting civil.
I am acting civil, but I'm calling out liars when I hear lies.
These are lines from Russian propaganda. These are lines from the 5,000.
This is the truth.
Words.
This is
treaty
the truth.
that
and
Putin
you
wrote.
claiming that it's Russian propaganda doesn't change the fact that it's true.
But it is Russian propaganda.
So what? The Russians can say that the sky is blue. Is that Russian propaganda? Or are you going to ask me to define what is blue?
Why do you think Russia holds a monopoly on morality?
Nobody holds a monopoly.
Why is it Russia that gets to decide what is right and just in this war?
Nobody gets to decide what's right and just, but I do have a judgment.
So your opinion is they're true?
No, it's not an opinion.
My opinion is they're false.
There is a difference between a statement of fact and an opinion. There are no opinions here. These are all factually accurate.
I would disagree, but let's agree to disagree.
You would disagree, okay?
Does that make me ignorant or evil?
It makes you not ignorant.
You smoke a lot, Jesus.
Unfortunately, it's stress.
How expensive is food in Moscow?
Is there food in Moscow?
Is there food in Moscow? Wow.
Because there isn't in Great Britain. Yeah, because there is in Russia, but there isn't in the UK. No, because you're just pulling bullshit out of your ass, and you and I both know it. It's a waste of time to argue with such a thing. See, I make a point, it's bullshit. Well, it is bullshit because we're talking about. I asked you a specific question: whether in Russia
does that make me ignorant or evil?
That makes you evil.
Right.
You're an evil guy. I saw your video, your previous videos. Okay.
Which ones?
You know, and I can be civil with a pig, but I know what I'm dealing with. Okay. By the way, Chad is asking, you're gay, right?
Yes.
Yeah. The collective West has become the whole point of this exercise is to show people who you really are.
I have absolutely no
dishonest,
interest.
lying, and willing to harm other people for his ego and for his feeling of belonging to the Western regimes that are committing a genocide here in Ukraine. This war would have been over long ago had it not been for your prime minister, your propaganda that scuttled the deal in April that would have been a ceasefire. That's why the Russians withdrew, because of the negotiations that were going on in Istanbul. And then Boris Johnson flew into Zelensky and then told him in no uncertain terms that he could not sign any kind of peace agreement. So everything that has happened since early April until today, all the senseless deaths of all the young men in Ukraine, it's because of people like you who knew the facts and just said, yeah, march on, keep on fighting. Yeah, Ukraine, I stand with Ukraine. And have all the Ukrainian young men, the flower of this country, be killed in a senseless war. You know, you always knew. And you're just an evil fuck who is happy to see the destruction of the Ukrainian nation and the Ukrainian people.
Crocodile tears you shed for Ukraine. And how tragic it is that the Zelensky regime is marching soldiers to their death, but not a thought spared for all the Russians who have died. And for what?
Chat, are you guys hearing the air raid siren again?
Is this going to be a problem? Are you going to need to head off?
No. They go off periodically. It's usually missile strikes or strikes of various sorts. Sometimes there are no strikes at all, and sometimes, annoyingly, there is a strike, and then after the end of the strike, then the fucking sirens go on. You know, it scares the poor babushkas to high heaven. That's the thing that bothers me, you know, because whenever the air raid sirens go off in my apartment, all the, elderly ladies, quite frankly, they rush to the basement, terrified, poor things. But, well, because you see of that missile strike that did hit the building next to my own back in early September, I suppose it's justified. But, I mean, they should really put the kibosh on the air raid sirens because, if you're hit by a missile, no warning is going to save you. Okay. And so the air raid sirens, I think, are a complete waste of time. And like I said, they scare the elderly people and certainly the kids. And so that's why I'm very against them.
I would disagree that the air raid sirens are a waste of time because, they might go off 5 times and there might only ever be once that the missile actually hits. But that once the missile actually hits, you might be inside, you might be safe, you might be sheltered.
Perhaps I'm a fatalist. I just want to point out the following. Number one, we agree that it's a war of attrition. Number two, we agree that in an attritional war, what matters is annihilating the opposing army. Number three, we agree that Russia has indisputably more men and materiel, irrespective of how they got them. They have more. They have at least 2.5 times the number of the Zelensky regime. Therefore, prolonging this war will do nothing except destroy the Ukraine nation and the Ukraine people. Because in an attritional war, even if your casualties are 1-to-1, the numbers ultimately win, right? So prolonging this conflict only serves to destroy the Ukraine nation and people, which is what you want. I mean, we've established that.
I'm pro-Ukrainian, so no.
No, you're not, because if you were pro-Ukrainian, you'd be begging for a ceasefire and a negotiated settlement, a la Minsk II, but that ship has sailed. You're all in favor of continuing this war because you're a NATO supporter.
You're pushing this to Russia having
you know the truth.
Morality.
You know the truth,
right?
And so
again, these are crocodile tears that you're shedding for Ukraine.
I live here, you imbecile. I've been living here since off and on. I've been coming here since 2012, living here with an address here and everything since 2016. So tell me about crocodile tears? Fuck off. I live here. These people, I see them all the time. They're friends, they're neighbors, they're people I know.
And
I see their suffering. I see their suffering, and I know that it's because of NATO supporters like yourself who are encouraging this pointless war that cannot be won by the Zelensky regime and is throwing away the flower of Ukraine youth and destroying the Ukraine nation. It's because of people like you, NATO supporters like you, who know the truth. You know that this is only going to end with the annihilation of the Ukraine nation, and you are egging them on pointlessly, needlessly, knowing the truth. And that makes you evil. Period.
Because I'm an evil warmonger. Therefore
yes,
war gives me a hard on.
Yes, because you're a small failure of a man who never accomplished anything in his life except his little giggling. And so you get a hard on by being on the side of the bullies, by being on the side of the despicable bullying tactics of NATO and that whole cabal, and you love it. That's the fact about you. You're a nihilist, and you're always going to be on the side of the bully, because ultimately your soul is black. And it's a real pleasure to be able to tell you this to your face. Of course, you don't have the balls to show your face. You don't have the balls, except anything, to sit in a small little room in the United Kingdom, far away from the conflict, whereas I am here in a place that I actually care about, and I'm seeing this pointless destruction.
You care about Ukraine.
For the ego of people like you.
You care about Ukraine.
Yes.
So do you want to join me in singing the Ukrainian national anthem then?
Chat, I'm going to leave it as a democratic vote. Chat, are we done here, or should I continue with this fool?
You'd respect me more for agreeing with you.
Well,
that some death is worth it.
I beg your pardon?
You agree that some death is worth it then?
No, I don't agree with that at all.
You look at Russia.
No, you're lying about what I said. I never said that any. I think that it's despicable.
You look at the mass extermination.
The mass extermination. There hasn't been any mass extermination. That's a lie. There has been indiscriminate shelling of Ukrainian people by the Zelensky regime. That's an undisputed fact. They have dropped pedal mines all over Donetsk, where children can be killed and people maimed permanently because of these pedal mines that serve no useful military application other than to terrorize civilians. No, what you're saying there is just a bunch of bullshit, and you and I both know it. That's the fact. And I'm going to be ending this conversation because we've gone on for an hour and 45 minutes. And further conversation with you, I think we pretty much agree is a waste of both of our time. But I'm just going to say, I think I've made it very clear, but just to reiterate, I think that you're a piece of shit. I think you're a warmongering bastard who enjoys the suffering of the Ukraine nation and the Ukraine people.
I'm Scottish. Honey, I'm Scottish.
Yeah, and
level up those insults, please. Don't insult me by coming at me with this weak sauce.
Okay. Now I'm going to bid you goodbye.
Okay. Fuckity
You
bye.
die painfully, I hope. Okay, so that was the shit show. I hope you all enjoyed it. Yeah, I really, really despise both those guys.
Next up, please welcome the Dark Lord himself, Lord of the Dread ILK, the Supreme Sigma Mal, Vox Day.
Howdy Teddy Sparche.
Vox Day?
Never mind.
Unlike Western men, we are a bunch of chat Sigma Males.
See, this is what's funny. These people are going, have you seen Joe's kicks, man? Rogan would annihilate Vox. We're going to get to that, okay? Just remember that you said that. Remember what you're saying.
Let this board represent the entire might of Girly West.
Unlike Joe, I am an elite athlete. Okay? I mean, I don't know if you understand, but I'm the size of an NFL cornerback, and I have safety speed. NFL safety speed. That's not something that normal people can deal with.
Demonstrate.
So I'm going to end it. This is why, as I have repeatedly warned people, this is why you don't fuck with someone that other people call the Supreme Dark Lord.
Exactly. See how superior we are.
Don't worry, when I'm Prime Minister of Britain, I'll create educational standards that will prevent that from happening, amongst other things. We'll call it Corbyn's 5-year plan.
We both know that will never happen.
Then why'd you invite me here?
Because it is funny. Mr. Medvedev, you can get medical assistance on your own time.
Ooh. I must have fallen asleep. Did I miss something?
Good birdie. What a wonderful 3-hour lecture on the utter superiority of Orthodox theology. I know that the Patriarch is quite pleased. O Putin, you are God as holy and blessed Messiah, destined to save mature Russia and the whole world. Always good to hear your affirmations, Holy Father. And it is always good to offer you my full and unconditional support. And look, we have already accomplished the exorcism of the Nazis from Mariupol, cleansing away their evil presence.
And their Nazi satanic child abusing idols, from what I heard. Biden and his child molesting rings won't be smuggling any more Ukrainian kids out under President Putin's watch.
Indeed, my child. And it is for that reason, among many others, that all our soldiers who die in battle go straight to heaven, no matter what they've done. For this is God's holy special military operation. By God's will. By God's will.
Praise Jesus.
Before we continue further, I would like to briefly give a shout out to those who could not be with us. I had previously invited one of the most dedicated and loyal of Russians, Vladimir Solovayev, but he unfortunately suffered an aneurysm on live television.
That's really unfortunate that he ended up hospitalized. And just as he was calling for the necessity of using nuclear weaponry. I tell you, it's a bold man who can appreciate that perspective.
I thought it happened while he was attempting to reenact Judges chapter 19 with Margarita Simonyan, just to demonstrate what needed to be done with Ukraine.
Judge 19.
Holy crap!
Look, he was trying to do something from the Bible. I don't think we should question his sanity on that account.
Mavincon, Glenn Greenwald's schedule was unfortunately consumed by his side business. However, he gave Emma a very nice compliment. He says that I have a better body than most of the actors he has known.
And it's a very hot side business, if you know what I mean.
We're talking about his gay pornography side business, right? Not that I would know anything about that.
Scott Ritter would have been here, but unfortunately he got arrested on child pornography charges.
Damn it. This is exactly why we need anarchy.
Do you have any more drugs for sale?
Of course. We've got anything you need, Mr. Medvedev.
Ted Nugent sent his regrets, but as the following clip demonstrates, his absence was well worth it.
I want my money back! I didn't authorize any money to Ukraine to some homosexual weirdo!
And to all the others, all across the world, I give you my love. It is a great responsibility to join our undertaking. You have my thanks and my gratitude. And, of course, Rables.
And Yuan, right?
Well, of course, that goes without saying.
Speaking of Yuan, I'd like to talk about something I'm very passionate about.
This is not about China, is it?
Maybe.
Mavincon. Damn it, that door is always acting up. Always back and forth, squeaking. Hold on, jive a minute. Alright, that should stop the door from annoying him. Mavincon. I understand exactly why each of you is getting here.
I want to reclaim that space for Christ. It should be cool to be good. It should be
Aaron.
cool to be moral. It should be cool to be righteous and to have a higher power that loves you and has died for your sins, you know? Jesus Christ was cool. He was literally the coolest person ever.
Aaron.
This is one of the many reasons why Christianity has to be re-implemented in our society. That it has to be held as the core standard in which we base our values off of.
Aaron. I understand exactly why each of you is getting here.
I'll talk about whatever the fuck I want, nigga. Like, who the fuck are you? Dude, nothing infuriates me more than when I'm sitting here talking about something and niggas in the chat, talk about this instead. How about you go fucking, jump off a bridge, faggot? Like, how about you let me direct the flow of my show how I fucking want to, you fucking dumb, disrespectful nigga? Like, shut the fuck up, man. I hate that shit. It is such a big pet peeve of mine. Talk about the thing I want to hear about. Leave. If you don't like it, leave. Like, get the fuck out of here, faggot. Like, I don't give a fuck. I am not here to impress or to do your fucking bidding. I'm literally 30 minutes into this fucking stream, and you're already, talk about this thing instead. Fucking kill yourself, man. Like, how about that? So I see like a substance around the ring of my chicken sandwich. Like some sort of like gelatinous substance around the ring of my chicken sandwich. Yo, what's up, Nick? Fries first? Thank you. You get it too. Thank you. Fries first, and then you eat the burger. Yes. Or the sandwich, whatever the fuck. I see this gelatinous ring. And honestly, my first thought was like, oh, my DoorDasher like fucked my chicken sandwich and came in it. That's fucked up. And honestly, that would have been preferable to what I actually received, which was a chicken sandwich from Chick-fil-A with fucking American cheese on it. American cheese on a Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich? Who in the fuck orders this? I didn't eat it. I did not eat it. I was like so astounded. I was so fucking disturbed by what I saw. This is like not even a food combination that has ever even crossed my mind, okay? I mean, you know, look, if you were on Twitter back in the day, everybody remembers the nigga that fucked a McChicken, okay? That was like a day in Twitter history that everybody remembers, okay?
I understand exactly why each of you is gathered here today. Against the Western world of hate and despair, we want to create a universe that is more loving, more tolerant, more equitable, and fair. And it is in that spirit that I welcome our next speaker, Andrew Anglin.
You know, it's like, well, it was me, Ricky Vaughn, Anglin, and Beardson, and Sean were the primary guys, and I feel like we're really the only ones who fully grasp and like completely grasp like the tone of America first, in the sense that like and directionally like the right position on all the issues, because it was the four of us back then that were like, okay, like the alt-right's got to go, and like keeping enough of the like irreverent, controversial stuff, edgy stuff, and with the right amount of, I guess you could say, like substance and seriousness. Yeah, like Anglin just makes me die. He's like, I read him every day and just like, and it's just one guy. Like and that's heroism. That's legend. You know, here's one brilliant, hilarious, incisive, just literally one of the best writers, period. And instead of writing for fucking Breitbart, instead of writing for whatever, he just went rogue and does his own thing and gets banned from everything and then stays the course and then faithfully executes what he does with excellence every day at a high level with incredible volume, and basically getting nothing in return, getting no accolades, getting no fame, no money. Like nobody's going on Fox and giving him flowers. Nobody's inviting him on Tim Pool or whatever. When the censorship conversation goes, nobody brings up his name except for me. You know, Alex Jones doesn't talk about him. These other people, and you know, it's not a dig at Jones, but it's like nobody brings his name up because you can't. And like that guy is like literally the definition of a living legend. Because they just don't make people like that. That's like a 1 in a billion person. Because everybody else is too fucking weak and stupid and sad and just a loser to do that. Because anybody else would be like, oh, like it's just getting too hot. Oh, well, you know, time to call the quits. And like, just, you know, people like that are the real heroes, not these people that are like, oh, I have to make like 1,000 compromises every day before I get out of bed, but that's just how it works. It's like that, the kind of character that requires to do what he does is just transcendent.
Thank you. Now then, we all know that the Satanic West is fully committed to the obliteration of Christianity and the propagation of demonic evil.
A brilliant point, Andrew.
And the evil Nazi satanic puppet government in Kiev makes ample uses of filthy satanic pagans, like the Azov Battalion. And may I remind you that these subhuman creeps murdered tens of thousands of helpless Russian women and children in their reign of terror, and the West has the nerve to call others evil.
Annotier magnificent point.
And it's all been orchestrated by the puppeteering hands of the kikes. It's all the Jews. It's all...
Andrew.
Gotta find some rape mods for this, though. There has to be like a rape mod, right? Hyper-realistic rape mods could turn this country around. So true. Unironically.
And we're back, this time from Rwanda. Anyways, as I was saying, the world has been infected with a vast network of parasitic Khazars, a people who have never done anything else but eat and consume resources. They're filthy, disgusting, abominable. Each and every one of them should be.
Andrew, go a bit easy on that subject. Kazakhstan is still our ally, until such time as we see fit to annex its northern provinces, for the sake of the glorious motherland, of course.
Exactly, and not all of them are bad, or so I'm told.
Firstly, yes they are. Secondly, I wasn't exactly referring to Khazars there.
So you weren't referring to the actual Khazars when talking about the Khazars. I will allow it.
Anyways, every piece of support that the West sends is in support of a fake gay puppet state nation that they call Ukraine. And Ukraine is a hateful fantasy designed to steal the destiny of Russia and destroy its population.
Exactly. It is the right of a very great people to gather its own and a single imperial state, a nexus civilizational point in the world. And that is exactly what must be done to the Ukraine, Belarus, and all the other places where our people dwell. That is why we're not even at war right now. How can I be at war with a country that does not exist? How can one genocide a people that does not exist?
May I prove my contention?
Prof ahead, Andrew.
Here you see the commander of the former Azov Battalion, the same one that the glorious Ram Zed Kod Arav, Allah preserve that great modern Conan, defeated personally.
I remember it well. We performed an excellent denazifying operation on Mariupol and even exorcised the building from tier demon magics of Satan. And so we did, и Patriarch Krill. We exorcised them, my president. God only cares about sacred Russia. Exactly. We have wiped out the field of the Nazi and soon we will destroy all that they held dear, freeing our people from their grasp.
And they'll never get to use those biolabs that they were protecting.
The what?
The biolabs that presented massive security risks to all of Russia?
No, that was a complete fabrication.
But maybe, if we believe hard enough, we could convince ourselves that it was true.
Does it work like that?
Damn it, it was real to me. It was real to me.
Fair enough.
Now then, let me give you a very visible presentation of the future the West is preparing for Russia. Here you see the subhuman Nazi kike in its most vile component, posing as a glorious Aryan. Note the beady eyes, the gross nose, the loathsome expression. Everything about the degenerate physique is disgusting, an obvious fit for the loathsome soul possessed by the Jew.
Andrew.
You fucking dog shit, your mother's a fucking cunt, yo, listen, your parents failed you. Your parents fucking failed you, see, that's all you gotta say now, you're a fucking faggot.
Scoreboard, shut the fuck up, you fucking suck, dude. Scoreboard, that's all I got to fucking say, you fucking suck my fucking dick, I'm sorry you're trash at fucking video games. Maybe you should go back to working at fucking McDonald's. You see, I got the fucking play of the game because I'm the fucking Aryan super soldier while you're nothing more than a bunch of fucking degenerate, dirty faggots. Look at that. Look at me fucking cleansing you off the fucking face of the planet, you fucking retards.
Tonga is a glorious island, known for its great internet hosting.
Alright.
Now, compare the physiognomy of the subhuman Nazi phage Christ killer there to the supreme image of an Aryan on the right. See the fine lines of his chin, the glorious eyes, the handsome physique. Yes, that's truly what a man of Christ's race looks like. And all the girls in the clubs can't keep their hands off of his glorious body. At least, that's what they say in Thailand about him. And may I say that a degenerate physiognomy is usually the indicator of a soulless degenerate mind. No offense to our Antifa friends over there.
None talking, you fascist jackass.
Hey, be nice.
Sorry. Mr. Fascist jackass.
That's better. Just like a mother taught you.
Any concluding thoughts?
Yes. In summary, Ukraine doesn't exist, Russia is awesome, and the Far West deserves to be nuked.
And screw the worthless Anglo-Saxon devils, am I right, am I right?
Yeah.
Thank you for your efforts. I'm sure that all co-overture would agree.
I'm not actually Q, but I have written several Conservapedia articles.
Of course you have. Anything to add, Mr. Prigazine?
Oh no, just making plans to have someone killed.
Excellent, then let us continue. Now, I know how dedicated you all are to the cause.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm kind of retarded.
We always go back to the details. This is why you are simply not equipped to understand foreign relations, because you interpret it from the right stuff meme lens of, this sounds really cool. Based Assad, based North Korea, based Russia. Let me tell you something. Russia is a degenerate country. Do you know how many abortions they have in Russia? People who say, you're really on board with all these Russophiles. Yeah, we shouldn't be enemies with Russia, but let's not pretend like Assad, North Korea, and Russia are real winners like you like to make them out. We should be allies with Iran and Syria because they're nationalists. There's a little bit more to international politics than ideology.
And the fact of the matter is, a part of me is like fucking stunned because I'm realizing, shit, I used to be like this kid.
Oh my God.
I am here to debate Nick. Let's see if your boy is really willing to go live and debate the Holocaust. He's not a denier. He publicly stated that 6 million Jews were killed in the Holocaust. Wonderful. Let's talk about that. Let's debate that. It's not a trap at all. See, this is the difference between a little puppy who thinks about optics and a political philosopher who only cares about the truth. It's time to teach the puppy a lesson. Bring me Nick. Let's debate, Nick. Come on, little Nicky titty baby. You want to debate? Your guys want to talk about how smart you are? I'm much smarter than you are.
Yes. Yeah. Look,
go back on Reddit. Go back on Reddit, you fag.
Regardless, as valuable as your contributions have been to the efficacy of the special military operation, we cannot win with propaganda. Educational efforts alone. Thus, the intelligence operations of our allies are critical. With that in mind, let us all give a warm welcome to Captain Javed of the Iranian Republican Guards. Can you all say, "Hi, Captain Javed"?
Hello,
Hi, Captain Javed.
Hello, Captain Javed.
Hello, friends, Hanod Guests, idea propagators. I would like to discuss some important intelligence information that my government has recently acquired.
Critical to our defense.
Yes, we have discovered that the United States and NATO by extension is actually a front for a group of Nazi aliens headed by a species known as the Tall Whites. Every single one of their technological advancements, every devilish strategy that their dunes Jew and Anglo-Saxon means have used to foil our plans, it is all the result of the Tall Whites and their evil alien federation. You can see the sort of freaks we are dealing with just by their pictures. Yes, it has all been the result of evil plans, evil obsessions, evil for its own sake, malicious, cruel, inhuman means.
And these are the same aliens who were running the Nazis, da.
Yes, this exact same power brought the Nazis into existence, them and the fascistic alliance. We thought that we won the war, however the devils cut a deal with the government of the US and now rule and influence them.
Well, let us not excuse the fiendish minds of the Atlantean Anglo-Saxons.
I fully agree, as I am sure everyone else in this room does.
There is one thing that troubles me about this finding.
Yes, President Putin.
Captain, are you denying that America and Britain are run by Satan?
No, President Putin, we would never deny such an obvious truth. The blessed Ayatollah says that the aliens are working for the devil.
Which means that they've been providing all of their demonically acquired secrets to the enemy.
Exactly.
Fuck Satan.
Amen, brother Medvedev. Amen.
It is just as if they track out this ensure special military operation. We have been focusing on a certain NATO cyborg destructor na this equipped with satanic alien technology. And we have been beating them.
President Putin, in the unlikely event of defeat, what is your plan?
My plan. Let me tell you, Putin will not be another Gaddafi or Hussein. If that happens, the real government of Russia will flee to South America and continue the fight from our bunkers.
We're going to, like, you know how TWP has their, like, place? We're going to build a compound, and we'll have cat boys everywhere. They'll be serving steaks and ice cream and warm cookies and Burger King, and we'll be playing Fortnite, and and nobody will grow old. And
Why are you gay? Are you dating any female? Lesbian? Homosexual? How can I describe you? You are gay. Why should someone be gay?
Now I may enjoy the occasional make-out session with little boys' stomachs, but that is a bit too gay for me. I am, of course, open to other suggestions. You know, Central Africa, Argentina, a whole world of naturalists to bring the glory of Vladimir Putin, the soul of Russia.
Uganda will fight to the death for the existence of Moscow. I'll have 30,000 troops in Russia at your signal, President Putin. You do have the air transports to get us there, right?
I was kind of assuming that you'd be pulling off some James Cabar и BB Yellowell stuff. Well, in Mexico is lovely, even got links to some of the spicier cartels, but I'm gonna say that is still off the table due to the monsters north of the border. Any your ideas about things we should do? Speaking theoretically, of course.
Brittany, if I ever see you, I'm gonna rape you. In person. And I'm married. I'm going to fucking put my dick in your fucking asshole. Even if you never had anal sex. Like, I'm gonna hold you down, I'm gonna grab you by the back of your head, and I'm gonna put no lube. I'm gonna remove your pants, I'm gonna remove my pants, I'm gonna stick my dick in your ass. I'm gonna rape you. Because you're such a dumb fucking bitch. That you do not understand. You have involved yourself into a community that you do not understand. And for that, you're going to get anally raped. Okay.
But hey, we focus on defeat. Victory is certain, forgot and Russia on our side. Hail to me.
Can we give a round of applause for Russia? Yes. Absolutely, absolutely.
You're gonna be walking away like, oh, you know, I beat CRP. Oh, that's fine. Okay.
Well, you have never been like me. If you were ever like me for more than half a second, your fucking brain would melt out your fucking ears. Okay. You've never been like me. And I don't know. It's just, this is just bad for you. I don't know why are you still here? People can't get in my face for being mean or overkill because you're still here. Take your lumps. It's sad. You shouldn't let a young kid like me bully you around. You're like 3 times my age or 2.5 times my age. It's bad. Go now. Just get out.
I love you. Say that you love me. Notice me. Please notice me. Would you like to come to my place later? I don't usually do Jews, but you're pretty cute.
I've already used up all my ammo.
Prematurely?
Small loss. American women HBM is so large even Mobiks could not miss it.
How dare you? You're going to hell.
No.
God, that just makes you so much more attractive.
I'm going to be sick.
You shut the hell up.
I remember when I used to eat that good back when I had a bunch of taxpayer-funded palaces.
Ooh, work it, boy. Oh, yeah. Oh, baby. Oh, baby.
Glorious President Xi, may I bet your time?
Is this important, Harmonious joy-filled assistant?
Fairly important, yes.
Very well, but make it quick. My time is more important than yours.
You are too gracious, Honorable President.
I know.
The People's Census Bureau have uncovered a certain numerical discrepancy, one which could only have been the work of the devils in Washington.
What sort of discrepancy?
We have been overstating our population numbers by 140 million people.
Which matters because
they may have all been part of the under 40 demographic, an already statistically strained grouping.
Meaning?
Economy about to follow path of Changzhen Emperor.
So, in other words,
China now number 2. India number 1.
get out.
Yes, Honorable.
Get out now. Out. Reputation on the line. Must figure out way to ensure harmonious continuation of power.
Heard you may have a little problem on your hands.
How did you get in here?
I'm always sinking into places like this. But that's not important right now.
Alright, who are you and why are you here?
Prigozhin is the name, dealing is my game.
Prigozhin, oh yes, you run Honorable Wagner Group.
Well, we're actually kinda dishonorable, but that's the point, heh.
And why have you come here?
President Putin has a very personal business proposition for ya, related to a certain numerical discrepancy. You dig?
Interesting. And say I was interested in this proposition.
Just give him a call whenever ya want. Greetings, Honorable President Xi.
Greetings, Honorable President Putin. I understand that you have a business proposal for me.
Yes. Hit yet, boys.
Why is there an orchestra?
President Xi, I have a dream.
So did I, Mr. Putin. Blame filthy street monkeys for putting gutter oil in fried rice.
It is rare that two nations have such relationship as we. Therefore, I wish to make a proposal to you.
I am listening.
I want to turn Russia into the world's largest open-air Chinese dating service.
I know understand.
All nations must have a single great aspiration. Ours is to become number one supplier of illicit sex for entire country of China.
Number 2, Mr. Putin. China is number 1 supplier of illicit sex in own country. Remember that.
Right. Now, about our contract. What price would you offer me?
450 rubles per woman of childbearing age.
With 15 million women of childbearing age, that is almost 100 million American dollars.
A vast sum, yes, but one that must be earned.
I promise that strong Russian women will mature honorable Han children.
No. We use them to birth hybrid vodka devils for cheap labor until womb explode. That give time to rebuild China with real Han lineages.
Well, it not in Russia, so what does it concern me? I agree to your terms, Honorable President Xi. You will soon see that I am number 1 supplier of Russian male brides.
Number 2, Mr. Putin. I am number 1 at whoring out Russian women.
Right.
But just as a question, won't the Russian man object to this plan? Seems like you risk a new revolution, and not the enlightened communist kind this time around.
I have plan.
Which is?
I'm going to invade the Ukraine. Now, a plan isn't made without its critics.
It wouldn't be.
The current position of Russia as an independent balancing power in Asia is of critical importance. Any action undertaken to alter that position will have dire effects upon the security of Asia. It is your duty to.
But frankly, criticism just comes in one ear and goes out the other.
I have the same experience.
So, what do you think?
You do what you will do.